How's everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's the universe? How has your week been? What has everybody been up to? How's things? Hello to Ish and hello to Luca. And hello to the one other concurrent viewer who's currently here. How you guys doing? How's things? Oh, let me close Thunderbird before it makes a noise, hopefully. It shouldn't be too bad. Hello. How is everybody doing? Hello, Mr. Ish. Took the car for I assume you mean Howx service today. Fair. Yours has, well, I guess if it has Howx, it's all the same system, isn't it? It's just the same Howx system from the Golf and the A3, right? I'm good. It's been a fair Thursday. Wonderful. Hello, Marcus. How you doing? And can we get a damage report? Well, I currently have a very bad headache, so I'm probably not going to look at the camera too much because it's a bright light. Hello, Simon S63. How you doing, man? How's things? In no one really cares news, I got some new curtains properly. I moved into this house like 7 years ago. And when I moved into the house, I didn't. I got some what you might call hand-me-down curtains from my aunt, and then I put them up, and they've been there for 7 years. And so we finally went to Dunelm and got some actual thermal curtains, which is nice. They actually block out light properly, and they actually like do a very good job at blocking like heat, which is amazing because this room is normally freezing in winter. And what's funny is that so I was playing some Helldivers last night, and the room got quite warm. And so I then went to bed, and I left the. I've got little like half open windows, you know, the like literally that size that swing open from the top. I left one of those open. The room was still warm when I came down in the morning. So yeah, they're doing a good job. Too good. Hello Simon, how you doing? How's things? It just means the wife is respecting your business place and allowing you to be you instead of interfering. Well, the thing is that I kind of wish she'd interfered. Because these are so much better, and they were 40 quid. Admittedly, they were, like, reduced to clear or something, but I think they look good. They're a nice dark sort of black grey. They're, as I said, thermal. They're full blackout. They're just great. And they fit pretty well as well. So yeah, I did have a look. Donna will make you custom-sized curtains. I had a look because the listing says from £90. Put the measurements in. £614. No. So I went to the shop and bought some standard ones for 40. Profit. Yeah, Howx Gen 5. Fair. I know that Howx is fine, but I do like what I have in my S4, which is a Torsen center diff. Built into the DL501 gearbox. It's 60-40 back to front split. And obviously can vary. The only thing that I don't like is that they never did a limited slip diff front or back or the S4, which I think would be good because they did the whole dynamic braking system thing instead, which technically might work, but really no. And there was the sports differential, which has clutch packs outside of the like between the you've got the diff itself, and then the sort of stub axles inside it, and then there's clutch packs, and then there's the drive shafts. It's stupid, but yeah. What GPU to get for a 7800X 3D system? 32 gigs of DDR5. You want you're playing at 1440p, 170 hertz, 180 hertz. 4070 Super or 7900 GRE. They almost cost the same. I think I remember seeing the benchmark results saying that they were very similar, and so realistically, if they cost the same, they're probably they're both equal choices. I think if it were my money right now, I don't know, I'd probably go lean more towards the Super. But yeah. I changed the setting on mine so it has what the RS3 comes with, 3070, I think. Oh, nice. Cool. That is one of the cool things about Howx, is how sort of configurable it can be, especially the newer ones. Hello, yeah, another user. How you doing, man? How's things? I heard you can actually download RAM nowadays. No. Hello, HMB. How you doing? No worries, Marcus. Theo Joe strikes again. I haven't seen the video you may or may not be referencing. Although someone with a very similar name to Joe did buy a latency tool this week, so oh, older stuff. Okay. I know that he did. He made a YouTube comment spam bot, which was pretty cool. Yeah. Talking about cars, I tried out a Supra GR. Loved it. Nice. You mean a BMW Z4? I've not tried a Supra yet, actually. Or the Z4. I technically had the opportunity to drive one at the last SMMT day, but I chose to drive the GR Yaris instead, and that was pretty cool. The GR Yaris is such a weird car because, like, it's a small, like, you know, little hatchback, but it has 300 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and the stiffest suspension you can imagine. And so I can't imagine driving that like as a daily car, but as a fun, like, literally rally car, which is what it was designed for. It's amazing. Actually, I went mountain biking with friends 2 weekends ago, and when we arrived at the car park, there was a GR Yaris that had the mud flaps, the rally like off-road tires, and a decent amount of front end like corner damage from where they've clearly been rallying it and then dipped it into a like clipped a tree or something. And I don't know, like, it's a shame for cars to be damaged. You know, I don't like cars being damaged, but at the same time, there's something really nice about seeing a car being used for its intended purpose, or evidence of it being used for its intended purpose. You know, the GR Yaris was a homologation special for a rally car that never got to race. But like it is a rally car, and to see it being used, or evidence of it being used in that way, I really like it. I like stuff being used for its intended purpose and not just like being a garage queen. If a car is completely undamaged, then what kind of safety nerd slash granny trusts it? Well, especially a rally car. Like a track car or something, you know. Okay, actually, no, a track car, you will end up ditching it at some point when you're your confidence exceeds your skill ability. But yeah, mine is currently undamaged. Despite taking it to the track once. I will take it to the track again at some point, but yeah, not yet. We also, myself and friend Dan, want to get a what we might call a backup car. And when I say backup car, what we mean is an MX-5 that's mostly for track use, but we will buy a welder to make sure that it can stay legal on the road for a bit, so that when our cars break, we have something to get us by. I got one of the TechteamGB circuit shirts in yellow. I look fabulous. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it. That's one that I made. Well, I made all of the designs, but I made the circuits one by hand. And I made the like collage shirt that I often wear in videos. That one is one that I like traced every item in Photoshop, and then the GPU tee, the stripes tee, and what was the other one I did? Oh, the like particle simulation. All of those were things that I modeled in Blender and then simulated in Blender, as well as obviously then took some screenshots basically and turned them into t-shirts. Hello Joe, how you doing, man? How's things? I had to drive through Chelsea yesterday afternoon. That's enough driving for me. Glad I live outside cities. Yeah, me too. I don't like driving in cities much. Especially like, you know, driving in British cities, they were never designed for cars, and so their road systems are just a mess. You never know where you're going, and you're always in the wrong lane. And especially in London, it's just wacky races. Any junction you get to, and it's just, what lane do you need to be in? Yes. 25 was lovely after that. Oh, I'm sure. The world's largest car park. I heard a rumor about a new Intel CPU. Plus, 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 plus. Well, Hardware Unboxed posted a video today that I've yet to watch about the 14900KS, which is Intel's fourth attempt at you know, dethroning Ryzen. But yeah. Cities worked not too bad with cars and horses, but still had congestion, but foot congestion instead of cars. Well, that's the thing about public transport, is that it is the ultimate inefficiency, because a single bus houses, what, 30 to 50 people? If it's a double-decker, it might even be more than that. Imagine 30 to 50 people's worth of cars in the same space. It's just infinitely larger. And things like trams, especially when they have their own separated thoroughfares, is even more efficient, because you only need one tram carrying 100 people every 5 minutes to get the same throughput as like the entire M25. So yeah, definitely benefit. But yeah, on the Intel CPU front, I don't think that Intel's launching a new CPU, like an actual new, you know, 15th gen, whenever. I guess it'll be until November again. Although there will still be these sorts of intermediary chips in between, like the KS, which is the bin samples that perform better than usual, can boost higher, can run at higher power for longer, etc. Have you ever heard the expression pickle sniffer? I can't say that I have. What is the connotation behind that? Oh, I launched the. Can reach it. New response time tool. OSRTT Pro CS. This has been selling alright. And I shipped, I think it was 10 boxes on. Actually, it was yesterday, yeah. I shipped 10 units yesterday. And yeah. No worries, John. Happy to have you in whatever capacity you're here. A fellow from Bristol called me that. I know a few people from Bristol, and they're not. I suppose pickle sniffer actually is kind of a Ponzi. Oh dear. Capono, best of luck, soldier. Happy to have you. Hope it's entertaining. I got to pay the bills, yo. No shame in Tesco. Coming soon, the Pro SE Ti Super. Oh no, I did consider naming it the Pro Super Ultra Max Extreme just to be funny, but I decided against it. Yeah. Wait, double background, Andy. What do you mean? Oh, because you've got it on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Right, I see what you mean. Well, that sounds bad. What's the difference like in latency? Like, which one is ahead? You know, if I... Which one of those... The G or the clap first? It's the E of the clap, actually, probably is the easier one, because hearing... How to know which one's which. Anyway... so I'm assuming pickle sniffer is an insult then. Almost certainly. I mean, really anything the British may say to you can be an insult. It's really just the intonation of how it is said. Although as a Scotsman, those sorts of insults normally include swear words, which I'm obviously not really allowed to say here, but yeah, it's part of the vernacular. Also, if anyone happened to be watching YouTube Shorts recently, the comedian Daniel Sloth had a great short that seemed to do the rounds this week. That's that discusses that very matter. Context: we were buzzed. He asked me to pay for another round. I said no. Then it's definitely an insult. The only question is well, actually, yeah, if it's a guy from Bristol, yeah, that's a very like upper class thing to say. You pickle sniffer. So the smell of pickles kind of makes me nauseated. Me too. Although saying that, as I've said before, I'm on the spectrum, the autistic spectrum, and one of the things that symptoms of that is a limited palette of food that I am willing to eat. And one of the funny things is that if I don't like it, I can't force myself to eat it. Like, sure, in an absolute survival scenario, of course, I can push aside the autism and focus on survival. But in sort of standard life, yeah, I just can't make myself eat anymore. You don't have to repeat that. I think don't wouldn't be allowed. Look, I got some Sony WH-1000XM5s the other day, and I paid under 300 for them. Nice. John, both surprisingly synced. Sorry, kind of slow. Interesting, and no worries. I watched some shorts the other day. I can see why the kids like TikTok, but no time to get into anything. That's the thing, is that shorts are great for entertaining. They're great for the sort of people who have perfected the art of capturing your attention in the very first few seconds of a thing, and then moving on. And like occasionally there is some sort of like useful little tidbits of information, little like tips or tricks or things that do fit well into that format. The problem is that the whole purpose of you watching them is to be watching hundreds of these in a small span of time, and so you never absorb any of that information. You go, oh, I saw that really cool thing on shorts today with the thing with the, what was it? Don't remember. And then you can never find it again because it's all algorithmically driven. Maybe history, you could look through the history, but also like YouTube history has been broken on both mine and my wife's phone for like a year. Like if I watch something on my phone with the same account, it doesn't know that I've watched it on my desktop. It doesn't show up in my history. It doesn't show up in my history on my phone either, despite, as far as I'm aware, that not being a disabled feature or anything. So, yeah, that makes it difficult. And a difficult format to be able to then go back to or to absorb, to actually learn anything. So it's really more for entertainment value. Which is why the like technically illegal clips of TV shows and stuff do so well, because it's easy content that people can just cut up, post, and then maybe get taken down, but also like I don't know the bloke. He's a friend of a friend that visited Romania together. Yeah, he's definitely highbrow. Yeah. I've yet to find a headset under $150 that actually sounds decent. There are definitely some, and I know that like it depends what sort of headset you mean. If you mean like Bluetooth headset, my experience on that is a lot more limited. But if you mean wired headset or just any headset in general, stuff like the ATH M50X, I think is the newest one. Or the Biodynamic DT990, 990X, 90 Pro, whatever they're called. All of those ones are around 100, maybe 150, although that might be dollars, pounds, I don't know. Around that sort of point. Obviously, a bit different to the Sonys that we're talking about, but yeah. It's a shame that YouTube want you to get 3 million views to get monetized nowadays. Jesus. I know that shorts really don't pay out as much in terms of ads. I can't remember, but I think I've made under £1 from shorts despite having tens of thousands of views in total on the 5 or whatever I posted. So yeah. But if you're getting tens of millions of views per short, which for a lot of those TV show clip ones, you probably are, it might be worth it. To be fair, I've not found a headset full stop that sounds decent, and you might get the joke in this one. Is that because you're deaf? Or am I mistaken? For the record, I'm not the one implying sharps were for disabled people. Oh, in other words, sharps are for handy-capable people. Well, they're not great for absorbing information, full stop. They're great for entertainment and for killing time. It is, yes, good. Good, I'm glad I remembered. It is a weird sort of parasocial relationships are weird in the sense that you know a fair bit about me and, you know, my medical history, and at this point I know a reasonable amount about a lot of you as well. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. I kill time on TikTok quite a bit. Well, I suppose in terms of talking about news, the elephant in the room is that the United States of America is planning on technically not banning TikTok, but they are planning on making it impossible for them to continue operations if they don't sell the operations to a US-based company, which... So, the funny thing is that TikTok is a horrible app, and I've seen numerous reports from data security specialists reporting that TikTok, the TikTok app in particular, is like literally spyware, like more than all of the other apps. But what I think is funny is that the reason that the American lawmakers are doing this this law is not actually to protect the consumers. They don't care that TikTok has a societal impact in the fact that content that is either outright stolen or is really purely just clicks and view engagement driven is heavily incentivized to be created and shared there, and, you know, straight up misinformation and like trends like the Kia boys, they don't care about any of that. They don't even care that they're collecting the data itself. The actual data collection and stuff doesn't matter to them. All that matters is that a foreign nation is the one receiving that data. If they truly cared about the American people, they wouldn't be making this law to ban TikTok because it's owned by a foreign nation that they're not very friendly with. They would be making good data protection laws that would stop all of the apps, namely Meta, from, but also Google and Amazon and Twitter, from collecting such copious amounts of data that they can, you know, go quite far with that. But they don't. They only care about the control of the data. And so that's why, you know, personally, I think this is a, like, terrible idea. Because a good set of data protection laws, like GDPR, is the perfect solution for all of it. But they don't care. They only care about the control. So yeah. Maybe it was a compliment. Maybe you meant for me to sober up. We employ pickles in Romania for sobering up. Don't know. Well, I don't know the context. I wasn't there. I don't know how he said it. Although the context in which you provided it, it sounds like the sort of thing calling someone a wet blanket. But very posh. The most powerful country, yet the dumbest. You said it, man. If I'm going to be tracked and data is collected, then I need to get paid. Uh, um, I keep breaking headsets where the cable goes into the driver end. Not sure if I can use silly super glue plus baking powder method. You can certainly try, but yeah. Fair enough, yeah, user. Yeah, I imagine it was meant as an insult, or a derogatory statement. Ish says that China are also investing in Hollywood and are starting to call shots on what can and cannot be portrayed on screen. Also, China majorly pushing AI as the good guys, so when their algo rules against people, the people are already predisposed to not hate the machines. I don't know how well that'll work, but yeah. I'll start with this one, Jazz. Have you seen the new Devon AI? A little bit. I've not seen too much, but it's quite funny. I will be very interested to see how effective it is, because the thing with programming is, I feel it's a pretty safe job. Not necessarily because of the actual programming itself, because like it's not that difficult to actually understand programming and write code, right? The problem is the human element of it, because most programmers, like if you took all of the working hours that a programmer works in a week, right? And you broke out all of those hours into what activities they were primarily doing during those hours. I'm gonna guess that probably 50% of the time or more is in communications and interpersonal discussion, contact, meetings, emails, all that sort of stuff. About probably 10% of it is actually writing code, and then the other 20 to 40%, depending on how you split things, is debugging and looking at unit tests. And so it's the thing is that to be able to have an AI do all of your coding for you is to remove the connection between people understanding what the code does, or what the end users want, or the client wants. And that's the bit that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Like, how would the AI interpret a request like, make the website less liney? Yeah. Make it brighter. No, not that bright. No, I want it bluer. No, I mean pink. No, I mean blue. No, not that blue. No, not that blue either. No, not that blue, you idiot. God, you're so incompetent. Isn't the royal family getting the AI images? Did I miss here? No, okay, right. Jesus. Very brief context. Kate Middleton, who is the princess of something, William's wife, uh, apparently, like, I really don't care, but here's the context. Princess Wells, thank you. She has, since marrying into the royal family, she has been basically like paparazzi photographed or professionally like publicity or publicists, whatever, have published photographs to the press, basically non-stop. Like, she gave birth, and then like I think hours later was standing outside for a photo op. Like, that's how insane this whole thing is. So when apparently she had some sort of abdominal surgery uh, a couple weeks ago, she basically disappeared off the face of the earth for it was like 2 weeks or something, which apparently for her is an insane amount of time. And there were a load of people making hilarious conspiracies of like she's actually Navalny. I can't, like ridiculous things like that. And then she was then dragged out of her recovery to be paparazzied in the passenger seat of her mum's car. And then a couple of days later, on Mother's Day, which was last Sunday, she or the like the royal family publicist, whatever, published a picture of her and her kids for Mother's Day, which was the first like official picture we've had of the queen to be. And then it very quickly turned out that it was photoshopped. She had been photoshopped in, I think it was something like the sleeves weren't, like, it was very clear that it was cut off at the arms and like, what do you call it, blurred between the two. Like, it just didn't look right, and so the Associated Press sent out a kill notice, which is retracting a story. Or in this case, retracting the asset, the picture, and then in the most hilarious news ever, the princess tweeted, basically, I'm sorry for photoshopping. Like lots of aspiring photographers, I played around with editing and sorry, just wanted to be positive for Mother's Day. So yeah, that's the context of the British royal family photoshopping pictures. No worries, Shadow the user. Happy to have you. Hope you stay safe. Have fun. So yeah, basically, she's ill. She's obviously not recovering super well, and obviously doesn't want to be photographed, and that's apparently a problem. And then also her like publicity team have just had a real bad time. Fair play if she did it herself. Like, she didn't. But it's an incredibly funny story to think that she's like clearly quite ill and sitting in bed photoshopping a picture of herself to be published to the worldwide press. Oh dear. So yeah. More important news, Kate Beckinsale is also in hospital and she's like 50. But it's still super hot even without Photoshop. That is true. Undertale are some great films. Undertale's a game. Underworld is it? It's time for me to strip again. No connections. Don't make any jokes. There we go. Much better. Dude, I haven't been in public for 2 years because of long COVID. Not even my best friends have noticed. Oh no. Well, I hope you're okay. I hope you're at least on the path to recovery. I know I'm not. Oh shit. Less magic Mike, more magic Anti. I am nowhere near as hot. Thanks, I'm hanging in there. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Hope things are getting better. 99.5k, so close indeed. In fact, YouTube, if I go to the thing, I have 99,514. And I'm getting 287 in the last 28 days. So about 300 a month. So in another month and a half, I might have 100k. Maybe. Yeah, fun times. Okay, it's just slowly allowing more viewers. Yeah, I think I get about 300,000 views a month. No worries, John. Please add timestamps with all the dad jokes so I can find them in the VOD. You hear that? But of course, see you next week, John. Out of interest of the people still here, who's been playing Helldivers? Because I actually bought it half to do benchmarking with, and half to do fun things with, like play it. And so I have been playing it both solo and with a friend. I'm liking it. The missions are definitely repetitive, but I think the progression, the sort of lore to it, and also the like, you know, the I suppose progression and in unlocking stuff as well, has been pretty cool. I haven't played it much because I'm as bad at that as I am at PUBG, but it is fun though. Fair. I did one of the current events on the Termids, the bugs planets. Right now is you basically spawn into a small, like a really small area, and then you have to kill 225 of the bugs. I did one of those solo. I got out by the skin of my teeth. Like, heart racing, like, running around the entire thing, just trying to keep away from the bugs while calling in the, what they're called? Like, support perks. What are they called? I've forgotten what they're called. But yeah. It's good fun. I'm enjoying it. Stratagems, thank you very much. God, I hate having a brain. Or not having a brain. It looks fun. Sometimes hard to see anything in front of you when things get hairy. Yes. And also one of the difficulties is that even once you've like shot one of the bugs, their like corpse stays there and acts as a bullet sponge like it would in real life. Like, it's not like once you kill one, your bullets, if the next one is running through them, which they do run through each other when they're dead, it's not like that then acts as, it like just goes through. You have to wait for them to come through the body of the dead one to then shoot that one, which is real annoying. Also, some bugs like sneaking up behind, looking at hunters. That is true. The ones that like jump fly at you drive me mad. Yeah. I like turrets, airdrops, and artillery. And also like heavy weapons, so you can drop down machine guns or rocket launchers, sniper rifles, stuff like that as a tertiary weapon. You spawn with a primary and a secondary, sort of as usual. And then you can call in a third weapon. But yeah. YouTube is a pig to get content pushed nowadays, averaging 1 to 300 views per video currently, with a couple hitting thousands. Used to average 3 to 50k per video. It'll come, but it's frustrating. Same. yeah, some do well, some don't do as well, but it's still paying the bills, and it also like has given me the platform to make tools like this, and this is what's giving me a lot of sort of satisfaction in the job, as it were. Right now, making these tools, making like learning an awful lot. I wrote a research paper last week. I got it formatted, and I actually sent it to the Society for Information Display editor for display metrology to see if they would publish it in their journal. If I don't hear back from them, I'll also contact their magazine, because they actively say like, we're looking for content for our magazine. If you want to, if you have anything, let us know. So I might email it to them as well and see if they're interested. But yeah, so it's kind of wild to have enough knowledge to write a legitimate research paper, just from making some tools and testing a whole bunch of displays. Yeah, I think at some point I do want to branch out into making dev boards. So this is a SparkFun like Bluetooth / Matter dev board. And the reason I think it'd be pretty cool is that, so this one is a little bit more on the complicated side, because you have this module itself, which is the Silicon Labs module. And then you have this chip here, which is, which way is it? Go up. It's an EFM32 or something. It's basically another microcontroller that just acts as the intermediary between USB and the module itself. So this one is a little bit more complicated. However, these are relatively simple boards. They're relatively easy to manufacture. As a similar example, actually, this is an Adafruit Feather S3. So this is an ESP. That one there is an ESP32 S3. That is SRAM and flash storage. And this one is actually direct, although a lot of them do have that same sort of intermediary chip as well. And then, where's the... As another example, the... That's one I soldered a load of wires to. So this is the Itsy Bitsy M4 that I was using with the tools for ages. And this is ridiculously simple. I have already recreated it here. Like, that chip and that chip are the same chip. The voltage regulator there that makes 3.3 volts for this. There is a flash chip there, or there was before I took it off. But like, these are really simple, and so I kind of would like to make something like that as well, because obviously I have the sort of ability and knowledge to do it, and I think it would help sort of expand the sort of market share, as it were, because as cool as these tools are, and I really like making them, it's an awful lot of work to make a custom tool with custom software, firmware, you know, the works. Those sorts of development boards, especially like this SparkFun one, it is really just you stick the module on the board, you make it available. So yeah, I think that might be quite cool to do at some point. Not right now, but maybe at some point this year. It could be something that I can sort of use to expand a bit more, and maybe at some point even make my own production line. Would be quite cool to have that in the UK. It is impressive, especially for a one-man band. Well, thank you very much. That's why I've not really been making many videos for At the Wheel. By the time I'm finished making 2 videos a week for TechteamGB, and then either designing new tools, writing research papers, fixing bugs, writing new software, etc. I'm kind of all tuckered out, as the Americans say. So yeah. YouTube seems like a great business partner. Sort of. It's a very inequitable relationship, especially in the power structure, but at the same time, I also wouldn't have the job without YouTube, so it's a complicated relationship. Some say the people aren't into tech like it used to be. Well, kind of. I think there has, especially from, I guess, about 2020 onwards, there was quite a shift in like viewership for me, in interest in what sort of things tend to do well in terms of content, which in theory indicates some sort of direction in viewership, essentially. But yeah, I know that essentially with cost of living being as high as it is, it's really hard to dedicate money to buying, you know, gaming stuff when you're struggling to afford food. So I don't know whether it's necessarily that people aren't into tech as much, or it's just they don't have that luxury anymore. No worries, Jim. Happy to have you here anyway. Hello, Essentialist. Welcome. You're only 49 minutes late. If I ever won the lottery, I'd happily invest heavily into you and really push it along, help with the equipment costs, etc. Now I just need to play the lottery. Well, I think my method for business development in general has always been to not self-fund, well, self-funded in a way, but to what you call it, build the business to the point where the growth then makes sense, so that it's not really a risk to do the growth. That is easier for me to say, easy for me to say now, because there aren't that many like significant investments in, regularly. But yeah, what you call it? I would like to build it, like build things to a point where I then have the resources. Like I don't need to take a loan to do stuff. I don't need to get investment to do stuff. I can build a sort of stable revenue stream off of my current access to equipment and facilities and things, and then improve, then expand. But we'll see what the future holds. Well, was the 14900K ask discussed? Slightly, yeah. Briefly. Mostly just talking about how it's the binned version of the 14900K, which is really just the 13900K. So yeah, I haven't watched a hardware unbox video on it yet to know much more. Self-fund, slow and steady. It's a solid foundation. Exactly. That's the point. Is when you have rapid and especially accelerated growth, you often run into difficulty in then being able to sustain that momentum, both in terms of just straight growth, but even in terms of stability. And so being able to have a more solid foundation to things with that sort of slow growth and just building it up over time is, for me, a lot better of a choice. There might be a time at some point where I just straight up require investment to to expand, but it would still have to be a what you call it? On brain. A stable position for me to be in. That's how we run our business as well. Good. I'm glad. I bet Intel raised the power consumption. Almost certainly. A lot of people make the mistake of borrowing heavily to begin with, then struggle down the line, always to build up at your own pace. I agree, especially for smaller businesses, unless you absolutely must take investment or debt to start the business. I don't think that it's a good solution for your everyday business. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. Why does Windows Hello feel so cyberpunk? I look at the laptop and it unlocks. It is kind of cool. I've only used it once or twice because I don't lock my machines because they're desktops and at home. And if someone that I don't want to be in here is in here, I have more problems than them looking at my internet history. Why isn't it on every laptop ever? Normally cost, because Windows Hello, I think, doesn't just use the camera. There's some other sensors that I don't remember. And so it cost normally. IR plus camera. Yeah, again, cost. And because Microsoft are getting their grubby fingers into your machine, your home, and your face. That too. And also, welcome back, John. There was talk about using the Xbox camera to study the victims 24/7, but if I remember correctly, it got banned. Yeah, there was. It was Kinect, wasn't it? The idea that it would have, sort of always on connectivity. That's like actually one of the stories this week that I saw that might be interesting is that apparently Roku is planning to update the terms and conditions, possibly with some interesting draconian shit. And what's funny is that if you bought a TV with a Roku built in, or you bought like a Roku brand TV that's normally from TCL or Toshiba, I think they might have had more partnerships since, but basically the main software that runs on your smart TV is from Roku. And the problem with that is that if you don't accept their new terms and conditions, your TV is bricked. Like, you can't change inputs, you can't like use it at all, which is why my TV is not connected to the internet. I have an internet connected, in fact it is actually a Roku device, but one, I have a Pi-hole, which does help. And two, the thing is that if they were to update their terms and conditions to say something incredibly draconian that the Pi-hole can't catch, well, I can just bin it and get something else. I can get a different IPTV bot or whatever Chromecast type thing. I can I can just swap it out. Whereas if it's built into the TV, you are locked into that, and in this case, you have you potentially lose access to your TV because they update the terms and conditions and require you to agree to them to continue using it, which seems insane to me. I suppose technically, as long as you turn off internet connectivity before that date, it might be okay, but I don't know, things might break. Walmart but Vizio. That, I also saw that this week, yeah. Which is kind of wild. Imagine having an internet connected TV and not one that just turns on and works. I know, right? And Roku just had a data breach, so don't put your credit card on the TV. Oof. I hecking love everyone spying on me. What was it? Samsung. It was either Samsung or LG was either outright caught or at very least had a patent or something that basically said we're gonna leave the microphone on the TV running 24/7 to listen to everything and use it for advertising. No. The Xbox Connect is a seriously good kit. Creepy owners, but really advanced tech. It is. The Connect was really cool. I had it for my 360, and it was a really cool thing. And I remember one of the fun things was that myself and my friends who I actually started the channel with were very much into game design and development at the time, and we were talking a lot about, you know, doing game development, and we were like, I had the Kinect, and there was a plugin that someone wrote to basically let you do motion capture with a Kinect. You could buy a whole bunch of the PlayStation Eye cameras and do it that way, or you could have one or two Xbox Kinects. And so I bought the power adapter that would let us do it, and then yeah, that but we never ended up doing it, sadly. But I remember that was a possibility, and that was in like 2012. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I pay extra for a TV that just turns on. I select an input device and done. Yeah, yeah, a dumb TV perhaps. Even you click on the I do not consent box, they still collect it. Yeah, of course they do. Although one of the funny things is, so I have a Hisense 4K TV, and Hisense actually do let you select do not, like, I do not agree to the terms and conditions for each of the different like apps and things that they have on the TV. And what's funny is that if you click I do not accept, it actually just doesn't. It doesn't let you use the thing, like the apps or whatever, but I only power it on to connect to the Roku or to the PC that's connected or whatever. And so it just works. Like, I did have it connected to the internet for a while, and monitored its Pi-hole, requests, and there really wasn't much. Probably because I didn't agree to any of the licensing agreements, and so none of it ever even turned on. I often wonder how much of the cost of a TV is subsidized by the data collection when it's internet connected. TV size monitors are crazy expensive. They really are, and you're probably not wrong, sadly. What TV company was this? Hisense, Hisense. It was it was basically the cheapest decent 55 inch, I think it's 50-inch 4K TV on the market like 4 years ago. I did a video on it. If you look up Hisense, it'll be there. So yeah. Actually, an interesting thought, Alex. That's what printer companies do. Not the data collection, although they probably do that now, but with the toner or ink. Technically, that's the same thing that the consoles did. The consoles often sold at a loss purely because they knew they'd get their money back in game sales and in their membership fees, like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live, or Xbox Live Gold. Yeah. Anyway, with that said, I think I am gonna leave it there. My throat's going. I've got like a spot on the corner of my nose, and it's really annoying me. So yeah, I will see you all next week. Yeah. Video tomorrow, video Monday. The video Monday is the one on Helldivers, actually. Benchmarking it. So yeah. Yeah, have a good week. Hope you stay safe. Hope you have fun. I'll see you all next week.